When someone mentions Tommy Morrison, you probably picture the heavyweight champion who knocked out George Foreman, the Hollywood star from Rocky V, the Duke. But his final fight, the one outside the ring, was his most tragic, because in the end, it wasn't a punch that took everything from him. It was a diagnosis, denial, and a controversy that still divides his family today. And when the truth finally seemed clear, one unexpected twist ripped it all away in the most controversial way imaginable. This is the story of what really killed Tommy Morrison. We all remember the golden age of heavyweights. Tyson, Holyfield, Lewis, Foreman, giants of the sport, all competing for supremacy. It was a brutal time. They didn't dodge each other or hide behind promoters. They just fought. And Tommy Morrison was climbing toward the top of that mountain. But unlike the others, his path started in the most violent corners of American sports. Places where grown men beat each other bloody for beer money. And even when he reached Hollywood and championship glory, the world never truly knew the darkness that would destroy him. Then came his greatest betrayal. Not a loss in the ring, not a failed movie, but a diagnosis that didn't just end his career. It tore his life apart. Drugs, denial, prison. The man who once had everything was suddenly fighting shadows. Most people don't know the real story of Morrison's death. So to understand why that diagnosis destroyed him, and why his family still fights about what killed him, we have to go back to where it all began. Born January 2, 1969, in Gravette, Arkansas, he didn't begin in Golden Gloves tournaments or Olympic trials. No, his mother had other plans. Starting at just 13 years old, she used fake IDs to enter him in toughened contests. Think about that. A 13-year-old kid fighting grown men in Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri. Brutal amateur brawls where anything could happen. And Tommy? He destroyed them. 49 wins, maybe 50, with just one loss across 15 contests. That's when he developed it, that left hook. The one that would drop George Foreman. The one Joe Frazier called better than his own. His father Tim pushed him toward real boxing. Tommy claimed he found his inspiration watching Rocky in 1976. "I'm going to be heavyweight champion of the world," he told anyone who'd listen. But dreaming was one thing, surviving was another. Morrison's amateur career was impressive, or was it? He claimed 222 wins and 20 losses, but records are sketchy. What we know for sure, 1988 Kansas City Golden Gloves champion, Western Olympic trials winner. And then came the moment that changed everything. July 1988, Olympic trials. Across the ring stood Ray Mercer. The fight was close. Too close. Split decision for Mercer. That loss would haunt Morrison. Mercer would win Olympic gold, turn pro, and later hand Morrison his first professional defeat. Funny how life works out, isn't it? Tommy turned pro on November 10, 1988. Destroyed William Muhammad in the first round. Then came 1989, his breakout year. 19 fights, 19 wins, 15 knockouts. And watching from ringside at one of those fights, Sylvester Stallone. Stallone wasn't just watching for entertainment, he was scouting, looking for someone to play Tommy the Machine Gun in Rocky v. Morrison's record was perfect, 19-0 with 15 knockouts. After one script reading, Stallone made his decision. No audition needed, Morrison had the role. "I understand I'm being presented with an opportunity that comes along once in a lifetime. There are a million fighters out there who would kill to be in my position." For 6 months, Morrison stopped boxing to film in Philadelphia. And something unexpected happened. Stallone was blown away. "He's a natural actor," he said. So impressed that he rewrote entire sections to give Morrison more screen time. But here's the thing about Rocky V. It bombed. Hard. $40 million domestic versus Rocky IV's $300 million worldwide. 29% on Rotten Tomatoes. Critics destroyed it. Stallone later admitted, "It devastated me." But Morrison? His career exploded. Morrison returned from Hollywood with momentum. James Tillis destroyed in one round. Pinklon Thomas quit after one round. Both former champions, both demolished. Thomas had fought Mike Tyson. You know what he said about Morrison? He hit like a baseball bat. Harder than Tyson. That's when everyone knew. This wasn't just Rocky's protege. This was a real contender. June 7, 1993. Las Vegas, the moment of truth. In the opposite corner stood George Foreman, the legend, the man who'd fought Ali. At 44, he was destroying everyone in his comeback. Nobody gave the 24-year-old Morrison a chance. But Tommy had a plan. Instead of his usual aggression, he boxed, he moved, he frustrated Foreman. When the final bell rang, the judges' scorecards were unanimous. 117 to 110, 117 to 110, 118 to 109. Tommy Morrison was heavyweight champion of the world. Beating a legend is a very good feeling, but internally I was processing the realization that I could compete with anyone. He was right, he could compete with anyone, but success would be his downfall. October 29, 1993. First title defense. Michael Bent needed just 93 seconds. 3 knockdowns in the first round. The championship was gone. But Morrison rebuilt, beat Carl Williams, destroyed Donovan Ruddock. By December 1995, Don King offered him $38 million for 3 fights. A showdown with Mike Tyson was next. Everything was perfect, too perfect. Because behind the scenes, Morrison was living a life that would destroy him. 2 wives, both named Dawn, at the same time. Cocaine, methamphetamine, 8 years of steroid abuse, and women. So many women. I lived a permissive, fast, and reckless lifestyle. He had no idea how true those words would become. Hours before fighting Arthur Weathers in Las Vegas, routine blood work came back. The results changed everything. Tommy Morrison was HIV positive. The Nevada Athletic Commission suspended him immediately. His career was over. At a press conference in Tulsa 5 days later, Morrison faced the cameras. I hope I can serve as a warning that living this lifestyle can really lead to only one thing, and that's misery. His family suspected a dirty steroid needle. Morrison would never say for sure. What mattered was this: at 27 years old, the former heavyweight champion's career was finished. Or was it? At first, Morrison accepted it. "I'll absolutely never fight again," he said. That acceptance lasted months. By 1997, everything changed. "I'll trust an attorney before I'll trust a doctor." Then the denials got worse. AIDS has been here since creation, but it doesn't do anything. HIV is just a dead piece of skin, that's all it is. And the most shocking, there is no fucking way you can get HIV from Sikhs. It's scientifically impossible. Despite being banned in Nevada, Morrison found places that would let him fight. February 2007, beat John Castle in West Virginia, fought in Mexico, fought in Japan, anyone who'd give him a license. He was literally fighting to prove he didn't have HIV. July 22, 2007, the New York Times dropped a bomb. Morrison had taken multiple HIV tests that year, all negative. Dr. Daniel Kuritzkis from Harvard reviewed the results. "I suspect he was never HIV infected." Wait, what? Suddenly, Morrison's denial didn't seem so crazy. The Nevada Commission's behavior got even stranger. They secretly lifted his suspension in 2006 without explanation. Later, in court documents, they denied ever suspending him. Denied an HIV diagnosis was ever made. What the hell was going on? The controversy split Morrison's family down the middle. His mother Diana told ESPN in 2013, "He has full-blown AIDS. He's in his final days. His skin is jaundiced. His liver is failing." She believed he got HIV from a dirty steroid needle. But his wife Trisha, who he married in 2011, completely different story. She claimed he had Guillain-Barré syndrome, not HIV. Filed federal lawsuits against Nevada and Quest Diagnostics, said the whole thing was fraud. His uncle Troy, an anesthesiologist, watched Tommy deteriorate. He's in big-time denial. His knees shake when he stands up. Who was telling the truth? After what Trisha called a botched chest surgery in 2011, everything collapsed. Allegedly, doctors left 12 feet of surgical gauze in his chest for 8 days. Septic shock followed. For over a year before his death, Morrison couldn't speak, couldn't eat, couldn't move, feeding tube, ventilator, multiple seizures. His weight dropped from 235 pounds to 160. September 1, 2013, 11:50 p.m. Nebraska Medical Center. Tommy Morrison died from cardiac arrest, his wife beside him. He was 44 years old. The death certificate that raises questions. Here's where it gets strange. The official death certificate listed: primary cause, cardiac arrest; secondary, multi-organ failure due to septic shock; infection, Pseudomonas aeruginosa. Notice what's missing. No mention of HIV, no mention of AIDS. No autopsy was performed, the body was cremated. Trisha claims a post-mortem blood test showed no viral particles seen, no retroviral inclusions. But wait, if there was no autopsy, how was there a post-mortem blood test? The medical establishment says it's simple. Morrison died from AIDS-related complications after 17 years of untreated HIV. But the doubters point to the 2007 negative tests, Harvard doctor's analysis, no HIV on the death certificate, Nevada's bizarre behavior, the family's conflicting stories. His mother believed he died from AIDS. His wife still fights to clear his name. His brother said Tommy looked homeless and 60 years old near the end. Tommy Morrison finished 48-3-1 with 42 knockouts. Heavyweight champion, Hollywood star, a left hook that could drop anyone. But he'll be remembered for the controversy that killed him. Was it HIV/AIDS? Was it a false positive that destroyed his life? Was it denial that prevented treatment for whatever he really had? The debate rages on. His widow's lawsuits continue. The boxing world remains divided. What we know for sure, Tommy Morrison's refusal to accept his diagnosis, whether it was accurate or not, killed him at 44. His story isn't just about boxing. It's about denial, conspiracy theories, and the price of refusing to face reality. Some say he was a victim of a medical mistake that ruined his life. Others say he was a man who chose death over admitting he had HIV. The truth? It died with Tommy Morrison on that September night in Omaha. Was Tommy Morrison really HIV positive? Was it all a terrible mistake that cost him everything? Or did his denial of basic medical science lead to his death? The evidence is murky. The family is divided. The controversy continues. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this story isn't over. Not by a long shot. And if you want to hear more untold stories from boxing's darkest corners, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. Because the truth about what happens outside the ring, it's often more brutal than any fight.